Good morning, students. First, we will do the prayer. Thank you, God, for giving this beautiful day, and thank you, God, for opening my eyes to see and ears to hear the goodness you left here. Thank you, God, for all the things you gave us. So, in this beautiful day, let's start our class. Today, I will teach you chapter number 8, that is body movement. This is part 1. In this chapter, we will learn about human body and its movement and gait of animal. But in this part, I will only taught you about the human body and its movement. In next part, I will teach you about the gait of animal. So let's start with our topic, that is human body. Human body consists of many parts. As we all know that in our body there are various parts like brain, kidney, lungs, heart, bones, joints, many parts. Each part has a definite function. All the parts in our body play a very important role. Okay. The framework of bones which support the body and helps in movement is called skeletal system. The framework of bones, हमारी बॉडी पूरी बोन से बनी हुई है. So these bones support the body and help in movement. These bones framework is known as skeletal system, or you can say skeleton. So let's start about the bones. Bones in human body. The human skeleton is composed of around 305 bones at birth. We all say that there are 206 bones, right? It's correct. But at the time of birth, in our body, there are total 305 bones. But when we grow up, so at that time, the number of bones decreases to 306 bones because some bones are joined together. Okay, it means in our body there are 206 bones, but at the time of birth there are 305 bones. Now the skeleton. The bones in our body form a framework to give a shape to our body. This framework is called skeleton. You see, this is our skeleton. It gives a shape to our body. Without skeleton, we cannot live, we cannot move. Okay, so skeleton plays a very important role in our body. Skeleton is made up of different bones, joints and cartilage. Skeleton is made up of bones. This is the bones, 206 bones, joints from where we can do movement, and cartilage. Okay. Now, what are the function of skeleton? So first is it forms the framework of body. ये हमारी body को पूरा ढांचा है. It gives shape and structure to the body. It gives the structure to our body. It protects the internal organs. Internal organs means like all the organs like kidney, heart, brain. So these all organs are protected in our skeleton. It helps in the movement and keeping the body erect. We can move only because of skeleton, and we can stand straight because of our skeleton. If the skeleton is not there, then we look like this. See, we look like this if the skeleton is not there. So because of skeleton, we are able to stand. Okay. Now we will see the skeletal system can be divided into the following main parts. So which are they? First is skull. This is our skull, हमारी खोपड़ी. Backbone. This is our backbone. Rib cage. This is our rib cage. Shoulder bones. This is our shoulder bones. And the last is pelvic bone. See, this is our pelvic bone. So these all parts form the skeleton. First, we will see skull. Skull. The human skull contains 22 bones. This is our skull, and in the skull there are 22 bones. All the bones in the skulls are joined together. जितनी भी बोन्स हमारे स्कल में है वो सारी की सारी एक दूसरे से जॉइंट है. They cannot move. Okay. It encloses and protect a very important part of the body, the brain. हमारी बॉडी का जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है दैट इज ब्रेन. इट इज इनसाइड द स्कल. स्कल प्रोटेक्ट द ब्रेन. बैकबोन. Starting from the neck to downwards on the back is the backbone. हमारी neck से जो शुरू होती है up to the stomach, that is the backbone. The backbone consists of 33 vertebrae. This is the vertebrae. This is vertebrae and there are total 33 vertebrae. The rib cage is joined to this bone. Function of backbone. It serves as a pillar of support to the body and help in maintaining the upright posture. बैकबोन हमारी बॉडी का पिलर है. जैसे हमें घर बनाने के लिए कैसे पिलर की जरूरत होती है. Only because of pillar our home is. In a same manner, because of backbone we are able to stand. It gives a proper posture to our body. It protects the spinal cord. Spinal cord is a nerve which is inside the backbone. It helps to send the message to the brain from the different parts of the body. Spinal cord हमारी बॉडी के जो भी मैसेज होता है वो सबका ब्रेन तक पहुंचाने का काम करती है. Now the rib cage. Ribs are curiously bent. They join the chest bone and the backbone together to form a box. See in this picture, this is a backbone and this is a chest bone. Both these are joined together and they form a box. This box is known as rib cage. There are 12 ribs on each side. ये जो ribs हैं, ये lines जो आपको दिख रही है, ये these are 12 in number on the each side. It means on the both side there are 24 ribs. Okay. Some important internal organs of our body lie protected inside the cage. It means the most important organs of our body inside the rib cage. Function of rib cage. It protects the lung and the heart. You can see this is our lung and this is the heart. This is inside the rib cage. It helps us in the process of respiration. When you inhale and you exhale, you fill the rib cage. Okay. Now the bones of hands. Wrist is made up of several small bones known as carpals. These small bones you can see here. These small bones are known as carpals. Shoulder bones. These bones are known as shoulder bones. Two prominent bones on the back where shoulders are present are called shoulder bones. This is known as our shoulder bones. Pelvic bone. They enclose the portion of body below the stomach. Below the stomach, this part is known as pelvic. This is the part in which we sit on. Now the next part is cartilage. Cartilage, skeleton is also made up of cartilage. There are some additional part of the skeleton that are not as hard as the bones. अभी तक हम bones के लिए पढ़ रहे थे skull. But this is a cartilage. Cartilage is not as hard as the bone and it can be easily bent. These are called cartilage. Upper part of the ear has cartilage. Cartilage is also found in the joints of the body. You can see this is the two bones and in between them there is a cartilage. You see in our ear there is a cartilage, in our nose there is a cartilage. So the soft part which can be easily bent, that part is known as cartilage. Okay. Now the next is muscles. Our skeleton is also made up of muscles. The swollen region in the upper arm is called muscles. This is known as muscles. Muscles is a soft tissue found in our body. ये एक बहुत soft tissue होता है जो हमारी body में होता है. The muscle bulk due to the contraction. Bulk means it is just become swollen due to the contraction. You can see here. When muscle contracted, the muscle becomes shorter, stiffer and thicker. You can see जब आप ऐसे करते हो तो आपको फील होती है आपकी मसल. So it becomes shorter, stiffer. वो बहुत stiff हो जाती है और it becomes thicker. It pulls the bone. ये bones को pull करती है, मतलब खींचती है, push नहीं करती है, pull करती है. Now in our hand there are two muscles, upper, and in this part is a muscles and in the downside there is also muscle. In between there is a bone. So when one of muscle contract, the bone is pulled in that direction. आप जैसे ये करते हो तो एक मसल क्या होगी, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगी and other muscle will be relaxed. Two muscles always work together. दो muscles हमेशा एक साथ काम करती है. One will be contract and other will be relaxed. You can also see in this picture. There's one muscle is contracted and other is in relaxed position. Okay, so when one of muscle contract, the bone is pulled in that direction. The other muscles of the pair relaxes. To move the bone in the opposite direction, the relaxed muscle contract to pull the bone towards its original position while the first relax. जैसे ये bone आपकी bone अपनी original direction में आ जाएगी, आप उसको अपना hand straight करोगे तो relaxed muscle कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, रिलैक्स मसल जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मसल थी, जो पूरी स्टिफर थी, वो भी अपनी धीरे धीरे किस पोजीशन में आ जाएगी, अपनी ओरिजिनल पोजीशन में आ जाएगी. अ मसल कैन ओनली पुल, इट कैन नॉट पुश. मसल्स से अपनी बोन्स को पुल करती है, मतलब अपनी तरफ खींचती है, वो बोन्स को पुश नहीं करती. Thus two muscles have to work together to move a bone. We can move a bone only because of the muscles. Okay, understand? Again I'm explaining you, there are two muscles together. When one muscle is contracted, the other is in relaxed position. जब एक मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होती है तो दूसरी मसल हमेशा रिलैक्स्ड पोजीशन में होती है. when you pull the bone, जब आप बोन को इस तरीके से करते हो तो एक मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो जाएगी और दूसरी रिलैक्स, और जब आप अपना हाथ सीधा करोगे, सो एट दैट टाइम जो रिलैक्स मसल थी वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मसल्स को भी हेल्प करेगी कि वो अपनी ओरिजिनल पोजीशन में आ जाए. यू कैन सी इन दिस वे. ओके, इट मींस बोथ द मसल्स ऑलवेज वर्क टुगेदर. नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज मूवमेंट. Change in the position of the part of body with respect to whole body is called movement. हमारी पूरी जो movement होती है, we can move, that is a movement. Movement is a characteristic feature of all living things. Movement हमारा बहुत important. There are many kinds of movement in our body. For example, human blink their eyes, heartbeat, breathing air, eating food, turning head, all these are known as movement. These type of movement possible in our body are because of presence of joints between the two bones. हमारे bones के बीच joints है, only because of that joints we are able to do movement. So let's study about the joints. The location where two or bones meet is called joints. जहाँ पे दो bones meet करते हैं, that is known as joint. Joint allow movement and provide the mechanical support. Joints move करते हैं and it also provide the mechanical support. For example, elbow joint, knee joint, ankle joint. These all are known the joints. There are four types of joints in our body. First is ball and socket joint, pivotal joint, hinge joint, and the fixed joint. Okay. So first we will see the ball and socket joint. A joint in which the rounded ball shaped end of a bone fits into the cup-like cavity of the other bone is called the ball and socket joint. See, this is a one ball. It is attached to the or fit into the cup-like cavity. This is a cup-like cavity. So this joint is known as ball and socket joint. These joints allow easy movement of body parts in all directions. In this joint, we are able to do movement in all the directions. सिर्फ ball and socket joint ही ऐसा joint है जो allow करता है to move to do the movement in all the directions. Okay. See, this is our ball and this is a socket. This is a cup-like cavity in which they are joined. Examples of ball and socket joint is the first is hip joint and second is the shoulder joint. In these two parts, the ball and socket joint is there. Next is pivotal joint. Pivotal joint is the joint where our neck joins head and allow the movement of forward, backward, left and right direction. हम लेफ्ट मूव करते हैं, राइट मूव करते हैं, अपवर्ड मूव करते हैं और डाउनवर्ड मूव करते हैं. To do this movement, the pivotal joint allow this movement. In a pivotal joint, a cylindrical bone rotates in a ring. अर्थ कैसे अपनी ही एक्सिस में रोटेट करती है, वैसे in a pivotal joint, the movement is only in a one direction. Now the next is hinge joint. Hinge joints are found between the two or more than two bones where we need back and forth movement. हमें आगे पीछे जब मूव करना होता है, backward means backward and forth means front part. So at that time the hinge joints are do. For example, knee, elbow and ankle joint. ये knee, ankle or elbow. In these three parts the hinge joint is there. Hinge joint. Our elbow has hinge joint and can move in one direction only. Hinge joints allow the movement only in one direction. Ball and socket joint in all the direction and hinge joint allows the movement only in one direction only. We can bend it forward and back to the original position but cannot move it backward. हम उसे पूरा backward की तरफ नहीं घुमा सकते. Example of hinge joint is elbow joint and knee joint. Now the movable joint. Movable joint means if the bones joined by a joint can move with respect to each other, then that joint is known as movable. See, अभी तक मैंने आपको 3 joints पढ़ा है. First is ball and socket joint, pivotal joint and hinge joint. In these joints we are able to do the movement. So these are known as movable joint. We call them a movable joint. But there's a one joint which is immovable. Immovable, we can say the fixed joint. Okay, as the name says, these type of joints are called fixed because it does not move in any direction. ये ऐसे joints होते हैं जो movement नहीं करते. जबकि we have studied that there are 3 joints: ball and socket joint, pivotal joint and hinge joint. In these 3 joints we are able to do movement, so we call them a movable joint. And fixed joint is an immovable joint. It does not allow the movement. Okay, for example, bones present in your head, also called skull bone, which does not move. Okay, जो bones हमारे skull में present है, they are not do movement. You can observe by moving your jaw, but you cannot move your upper part of mouth because it is fixed. You cannot move the upper jaw. When you open your mouth and feel it, that you are not able to move the upper jaw. You can move the lower jaw, but you cannot move the upper jaw because the upper jaw is fixed, is known as a fixed joint. Okay, student, so read the chapter up to the human body and its movement. Thank you.